Hello, everyone. We have some really great news to bring to you as of 12/10/2020. And what I'm showing you right now is the thomasmoresociety.org website. Thomas More Society is a not-for-profit or nonprofit national public interest law firm dedicated to restoring respect in law for life, family, and religious liberty. On the front page today, we have the latest news of St. John Bos, of the Society of St. Pius X, priest Father Burfitt, winning his preliminary injunction. So what does that mean? Victory for California Catholic priests, that's Father Burfitt of the Society of St. Pius X, also known as SSPX, as judge prohibits COVID-19 restriction enforcement. So let's take a look at the article together. This is the Arcadia Priory that you're seeing here. So on December 10th, a California Superior Court issued a preliminary injunction protecting Father Trevor Burfitt and his Catholic parishes. So Father is the prior of, I believe, 5 missions in Southern California. There's one in Bakersfield, San Diego, San Pedro, and Colton. And then, of course, his priory in Arcadia. And his parishes from the discrimination being heaped on them by Governor Gavin Newsom and those under his authority in the name of COVID-19 prevention. Thomas More Society attorneys are representing Burfitt in his suit against Newsom and other state, county, and municipal officials. So what does this win of the preliminary injunction mean for us? Well, I'd like to also shout out to this man here, Mr. Christopher Ferreira. If you are watching this, or if any of you know him, we are just so thankful for this. I'm also really thankful for all those who've joined us in prayer for the freedom of Holy Mass. Many people have heard about this, and they've reached out and said that they're praying. So we thank them for their prayers, and we definitely thank our unconquered leader in battle, the Immaculate Conception, whose feast day we just celebrated on the 8th. So many of you are also doing the SSPX Rosary Crusade that is really just in order to free the Mass and for more holy vocations like our good prior Father Burfitt. If we could get more great men like that, SSPX keeps turning out some really great and holy priests, so we want prayers for that. Let's just jump down. If you want to go to the thomasmoresociety.org, you can check this out and read the article, but I'm going to jump now to the actual ruling here. And I'm not by any means a lawyer, so I definitely don't, let me click on that. I definitely don't have my law degree, but I think I can kind of decipher this and kind of summarize for you all what this means. So this was the lawsuit Father Trevor Burfitt versus Gavin Newsom. Most of you know that Gavin Newsom is being called to the carpet by many people and many groups for his draconian, let's just say his methods for dealing with this pandemic. And while nobody is arguing that the virus COVID-19 is real, what we are arguing against is the arbitrary restrictions on different entities and businesses and groups, while others do not have the same restrictions, including even himself. So, for example, maybe some of you don't know about him locking us down on Thanksgiving, and he himself, Mr. Newsom, he, let's see, I wanted to show you guys the this is when he went to the French Laundry and spent like, I don't know, $10,000 on dinner and drinks. So let's see, maybe this is it. So he attended a birthday dinner. He was unmasked. He was like shoulder to shoulder with people inside a enclosed glass room. And, this was like right around telling all the people of California that they should cancel Thanksgiving and not get together with their family. So I wish I could come up with the photo of that. Sorry, I wasn't planning to actually share this, but I want you to understand who Newsom is if you're not familiar with him. So there it is. This is the photo. See, he's in there. He's close to everyone. These are obviously people. This is not his family. This is just a friend's like 50th birthday or 40th birthday. I can't remember, but they're all obviously from different households. They don't all live together. And so it's just very interesting. This is just one of the many things that he has done, walking around without masks on, but telling everybody that they have to wear masks and telling people not to travel. And then yet he goes and travels, and then also making small businesses shut down while he keeps his winery open. So these are the kind of things that he's doing. He's also allowed strip clubs to be open. People can go into strip clubs and go indoors into strip clubs now, but churches cannot worship indoors. They have to be outside. So you got my mom, she's 75, and it's like there's got to be a lot of old elderly people too. They got to be outside. You got little babies, newborn babies, you've got little kids, and it's been cold. I know San Diego seems like it's always warm, but we've had temperatures get down to 37. And I know for some of the country that sounds pretty warm, but an hour outside when, we're just, otherwise we could be inside and just the same as say with the people moving around in a grocery store touching all different kinds of products. And here we are just sitting there, and we're not allowed to go inside and sit there. It's if people find that a dangerous situation, they have the right to stay away or do what they'd like to do. But this is something important to us, that we have the same religious freedom. We have the same freedom, which in this case is religious practice, to be able to do what secular people are allowed to do. For example, Gavin Newsom has made anyone related to Hollywood or entertainment, making movies, they don't have to lock down. They don't have to refrain from being indoors. They can film indoors. They can eat together, work together. So we're just asking for kind of the same privilege, if you will, that we are just as essential as these other people. So take a look at the ruling. It says the court grants plaintiff Father Trevor Burfitt's motion for preliminary injunction to all of its defendants. So what does that mean? You guys can come here and take a look at it yourself. I'll put the links in the video description. But I'll highlight a few things. Assuming all of the same precautions are taken, why can some safely walk down a grocery aisle but not a pew? That's a good point. Let's see. There can be no question that the challenged restrictions, if enforced, will cause irreparable harm, as the loss of First Amendment freedoms for even minimal periods of time unquestionably constitutes irreparable injury. This is irreparable injury to our First Amendment freedoms. And then this closing statement I thought was pretty strong in the last paragraph. Members of this court are not public health experts, and we should respect the judgment of those with special expertise and responsibility in this area. But even in a pandemic, the Constitution cannot be put away and forgotten. The restrictions at issue here, by effectively barring many from attending religious services, strike at the very heart of the First Amendment's guarantee of religious liberty. Before allowing this to occur, we have a duty to conduct a serious examination of the need for such a drastic measure. Okay, so this preliminary injunction is going to allow the exercise of religion free exercise of religion in the California Constitution, which will prohibit the defendants from treating, the defendants are like Gavin Newsom, prohibit the government from treating religious activities worse than comparable activities. So it says that California's current COVID-related restrictions do prohibit, do go against the California Constitution. So the government cannot do this. The government is not, so the court is not in a position to rewrite the restrictions or dictate to defendants specifically how the restrictions may be cured. Okay, so they are now going to, between now and the next hearing, the court is in a position to prohibit enforcements of the restrictions against the plaintiff, Father Burfitt, pending trial and rules accordingly. So they're not making a ruling in respect to the separation of powers, and they're not making any rulings with respect to the government's COVID-related restrictions that were created at the city and county levels, except that the restrictions are not enforceable against the plaintiff to the extent that they incorporate the state of California's restrictions. So Governor Newsom's restrictions saying you can't go inside a church anymore is unlawful and against our constitutional rights, and they cannot say that anymore. So we can go inside and we can worship. I again am not a lawyer, but I do believe that religious activities would also include being able to go into a hospital and give a soul extreme unction, or what we call the last rites. There is a hospital that does, after Father has spoken to the chaplain there, he is allowed now to go into the hospital. But at this point, I would say that this gives us the ability to make sure that our loved ones do not die without their last rites any longer, as it has been restricted earlier this year, which is just not right. So you'll see there's a future hearing, March 29th, 2021. So we got to keep up prayers for that. So we thank you all the prayer warriors who have been praying with us to see this through. And this is a big day for us. It's the best that we could possibly hope for at this point. That we won. We've been given the preliminary injunction. That means that Father Burfitt and all of his churches under him do not have to be closed inside. Now, one of his churches was fined like $1,000 every time they had Holy Mass on Sunday, and so was made up by the people within the parish. They started giving more, so that actually helped to pay for that. But that was unlawful, those fines. People should be able to go inside and be able to sit in a pew and worship. That is what this is saying. So for those of you that are not under Father Burfitt's care, not one of his lambs, excuse me. So what does this mean for you? Well, I think it means that if this ruling of Father Trevor Burfitt versus Gavin Newsom says that religious activity should not be imposed upon with draconian measures, that they have just as much right to be seen as essential as being able to walk into a grocery store, or for unfortunately San Diego's situation, that you could go to a strip club, that any church can really be able to operate inside. And so I think that this is a huge win for everyone, but we still need to pray for the freedom of Holy Mass throughout the world, because I don't know what's going on in the rest of the parts of the world. Some places just are freer, some places are not, but this was a big one for us, and we thank all of you for praying for us, those that joined in prayer. Let's keep it up, and thank you to Our Lady the Immaculata, the Immaculate Conception. I know many of us were going to her for recourse. We thank God for the gift of her prayers, because we all know that her prayers are just so powerful, as shown in the Bible. And when Our Lady first prompted our Lord to his first miracle at the wedding of Cana, when he himself said he was not ready yet, but she beseeched him on the behalf of those that she cared for, and he, as a loving son who cannot refuse his mother's request, he complied. And so, um, when you need to go to a king, and sometimes you don't have the time to be in constant prayer to beseech the king, you go to someone who's got a great relationship with him and ask them to do it for you. um, so that's what we've got. We've got just this great heavenly army. Please keep it up, everyone. This was a big one for us today. God bless you all.